Hi, it's Mitch from Pickdawgz.com here with your free pick in the Kentucky versus Georgia college basketball matchup on Saturday, January 20th, 2024. Of course, if you like all the free picks we do, you'll love our premium picks, our best bets. Use the discount code PICK, you'll get 15% off. We also have Dime Club and Sharp Trading Plays. These are meant for people who make big bets. If that's you, go ahead and text the number you see on the screen. They're not available on the website. But let's get to this one. Kentucky taking on Georgia. It's SEC college basketball action. And of course, I've been super critical of Georgia coach Mike White ever since, for a long time now. Of course, he was at Florida. He was fired there, as he should have been, and then he was hired by Georgia, which was a bit of a head scratcher. But I have to say the Bulldogs are playing some pretty decent basketball this year. We're super harsh on guys when they deserve it, and we're also, we give the guys praise where they deserve it. And I think Mike White certainly deserves some praise with what he's done with this Georgia team, because earlier this season it wasn't looking all that promising. The Bulldogs are 3-0 straight up and against the number on the road. Just 8-1 though against the number for the season, but 9-1 straight up in their last 10. Like I said, playing some really good basketball. I think when we saw them earlier in the season, we could see that they had some good young talent on this team, and now the talent is certainly starting to develop, get that experience in a hurry. And this team is playing really well. Kentucky 13-3 on the season. I believe this is one of Calipari's better teams he's had. Kentucky 10-1 at home this season, 11-5 against the number, 7-4 against the number at home. I mean, Kentucky is college basketball, right? We know that, and they have been for quite some time. Last year, these teams split with Kentucky winning at Rupp and Georgia winning it at home. Meanwhile, when we look at Georgia, they are coming off a nice win against South Carolina. They had lost prior to that against Tennessee, but held the game pretty close. They were getting 8 in that thing at home against the Vols. Were unable to hold on to the lead, but held on for the cover. When we look at Kentucky, they bounced back from that loss at Texas A&M. Those of you that love watching college basketball on TV, as well as betting on it or going to the games, as well. I mean, that game was a game. That Texas A&M Kentucky game. I really thought Kentucky was the better team on the floor, but that sometimes doesn't always mean that doesn't always equal wins. We have to congratulate Texas A&M for taking our money in that game. But when we look at what the Cats have done, the body of work, the win over North Carolina as an underdog, the win over Florida. Why were they an underdog in that game? The beatdown of Missouri, and then last time out, bouncing back from that Texas A&M loss by pounding Mississippi State. I think this game shapes up to be very, very interesting because Georgia is playing well. They don't shoot the ball particularly well, but Kentucky, they play both ends of the court really well, and I think that's where the problems are for the Bulldogs in this one. I think that Kentucky, on the rebounding end, that's where they got beaten up by That's where they got beaten up by Texas A&M on the second chance points. And I think that's what Georgia's going to try and do to them too, is to pound those offensive boards. But the problem is that if you don't get that board, it is a run-out dunk or a layup, as Kentucky just the kings of scoring in transition. I just think that Kentucky pulls away at the end, and I think in what could be somewhat of a competitive game most of the way. But I'll take the Cats, I'll lay the number, and that's going to be my free pick. Of course, while you're doing your picks, putting your bets in, be sure to use our free betting tools at sportschatplace.com. 100% free, and they'll help put you on the most favorable bets on the board today.